Namaste and welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Serenity Yoga. We're going to continue answering questions from the jar just to see if what I've learned over the many years of my studying yoga and other things, if it's making any sense to me mostly. And if it does, hopefully it will make sense to you. So this is just a regurgitation of stuff I've learned over the years that I'm sharing with you now. And my reason for sharing is definitely not to appease an ego who's standing back in the background saying, "Don't you dare put that video up." It's more about appeasing that higher being that I am, that sense of compulsion that I have to do this. And I truly do not understand it. And the more I try to understand it, the less I understand. It's just like the more I think I know, the less I actually know. So it's just one of those crazy things that happen when you start to wake up a little bit. And I'm only just waking up. I'm definitely no evolved being, so I'm going to get you to take whatever I have to say with a grain of salt. Please check in with those higher beings that are out there, the wiser ones that have experienced more waking up than I have. And most importantly, check in with that wise being within yourself to see if whatever I have to say or what anyone has to say resonates with the knowledge and the wisdom that's already within you. Anyway, I will digress. I will reach in and grab a video. Oh my goodness, I don't know. I'm having a hard time grabbing this for some reason. It's a little tricky. Let's see what we have here. This is funny. I'm going to take a deep breath. And I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to set my clock. And the question I got was, why aren't you famous? Why aren't you famous? And I know that is something, one of those things we tend to think is important to this physical world, is to be famous, to be recognized and known for the things that we do that we think that we're meant to do. We want some kind of reward for whatever we do as human beings. And famous is probably one of those things that most of us in this Western culture anyway tend to think is important. Wouldn't it be great to be famous? Wouldn't it be great to be rich? Wouldn't it be great to be well known by people? Wouldn't it be great to be, whatever? Famous is something that we tend to strive for, whether we know it or not, in this Western culture. And celebrities are worshipped as idols almost. I am not famous for many reasons. I'm famous because I do not deserve to be famous. I have not put myself out there in any way. I'm not promoting myself. I'm not promoting my videos, not promoting what I'm writing, and I'm not reporting what I'm doing here. Though I still have an inclination in me and a big fat ego that says, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be great if your writing got all published and you made, the New York's bestseller list, or if your videos start hitting all those numbers, or whatever. I still have that in me. And I know, though, as soon as I hear myself saying that or wanting that is not what I truly want. I know that if I were to get famous, if I were to get, 1 million likes or 1 million subscribers, that would be very, very pleasant and satisfactory for a small period of time, but then it would be like, whoa, that's not enough. That's not what I really want. Something inside me would recognize that. So I think we tend to think we want things from the material world that will satisfy us on the inside, that will end this sense of discontent we may be experiencing with ourselves and with life. But nothing out there, fame, notoriety, money, popularity, material perceptions are going to satisfy us for long. They are a ceaseless kind of seeking that does not bring us to true satisfaction. So I am not famous because basically the inner part of me knows that I do not want fame. It's not what I need or want to be who I want and need to be. It is just an illusion and an ideation that I still subscribe to some degree because I still have an ego, like I said, but it's not what I want. And I do not think it would serve me at all to be famous. I don't know if it serves any of us to be famous, other than maybe to increasing readership and getting a message out there that can help others. I think we have to be very cautious as long as we have an ego that fame can actually do the opposite for our lives and for the lives of others. Egos that people with big egos that get famous tend to exploit their egos even more and to exploit the egos of other people. Not intentionally, maybe, but that's just the way it works. We can never satisfy this ego that we tend to identify with. And if the ego is the one that wants to be famous, well, then we're going to have a lot of trouble. And like I said, I'm not, even on an egoic level, I don't deserve to be famous. My videos here are totally imperfect. I spend maybe, like I said, 20 minutes on them for a 10-minute video. I may open it up. If I'm lucky, I comb my hair. I sit here, pull out a question, and whatever it is, I attempt to answer it. And my answers are far from perfect because I have not gained the knowledge and the insight that some of those great teachers out there have gained. And nor am I calling myself a teacher. I'm just a learner learning, and this is one way that I learn. But I do not deserve, even on the egoic level, to be famous. Many people who gain that fame, if it's that's what they truly want, work very, very hard to get it. And I am not saying it's that they don't deserve the fame or that there's anything wrong with them for getting it. I just know that fame will not lead to true satisfaction within the self. I have gained that much understanding. So the universe is probably cooperating with me when it says, makes my readership so very, very tiny, when very few of the things I've written and actually submit, I probably have, maybe submit 10 to 15% of the stuff that I write. And I haven't got a lot of validation. I do get published, but I haven't got a lot of validation back from my writing. So I obviously, and that's probably good because I'm not ready for that. My ego is still present, and as long as my ego is present, fame would probably be the worst thing for me if I were to get a really big readership. For whatever I'm doing here, I'm so comfortable. I have 34 subscribers now for this YouTube channel, and I don't even know what if you want to call it a YouTube channel. I don't even know what it is. I just put these videos out there, and according to YouTube, I need some kind of a channel to put them in, and they're all related to what I'm talking about now. So yeah, I have 34 subscribers, and to me that is a classroom, and I'm so happy to have those 34 subscribers. Thank you so much. I appreciate you listening, and I'm hoping you're gaining something from what I have to say. But I am doing this, as I've said many times, mostly for selfish reasons, because I'm trying to assimilate my own learning. And I learn when I teach, and I teach when I learn. And I've done years of educating in the adult learning environment, and that was the same thing for me then. I learned before I taught, and I taught what I learned. And I learned so much from my students and from everybody else and from the experience itself. So it was a very I don't know what you say, interconnected type of experience between me and the learner, and myself as a learner and a teacher, and my teacher as a learner. So whatever, I'm gaining something personally from doing this, so I'm not seeking fame. In fact, I do not promote myself at all, nor do I want to promote myself. I'm not asking for any monetization for this at all. I don't want that. That's not why I'm doing this. I do want to share what I learn. So when I learn something valuable for myself, I want to assimilate it, then I want to share it. I often compare it like baking a cookie. I'm creating something by baking a cookie. Then I take the cookie out there and I'm breaking it up into pieces, and I'm giving you, whoever's around me, who just happens to be around me at the time I bake the cookie, a piece of it. But that doesn't mean that person has to take that piece of cookie. And if they do take a piece of cookie and they taste it and it's like, yeah, that's okay too. They don't have to like what I've created. They don't have to like what I'm doing here. They don't have to like what I'm sharing. No one has to listen, and no one has to be a part of this. But if you are, and you are gaining something from it, if you were really, really hungry when I gave you that piece of cookie and it did something for you energetically, I say, great, thank you. Thank you for the process of allowing me to give this to you. At the same time, I'm giving it to myself. So it's like I said, a very mutual relationship. Fame is not my priority, and it never will be. I don't like promoting myself. Even when I write things that I think that might be of benefit for people, and I actually give them to people to read, I'm always like, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just let them come to me. I shouldn't have pushed myself. If it was meant to be read, if they would have read it, they would have found it. It would have been beneficial. So by putting this up, doing these videos up and just putting them up into YouTube randomly, not knowing who's reading it, who's catching on to it, who's interested in it, it's very hard for the ego to accept that, because the ego likes to know, and the ego likes to control, and the ego wants that fame. It doesn't want to be criticized or rejected. But when you're doing this randomly, like I'm doing it, you know, you risk just as much as people saying, "Oh, that's pretty good," or to someone saying, "Oh my God, that was gross. Why would she do that? Why would she embarrass herself?" and all that. And I even had a question recently, but why do you embarrass yourself doing this? It's not about me. It's about this compulsion I have to do this and sharing what I'm learning. And fame would be for the ego, and I'm hopefully evolved enough away from my ego to see that fame will not, that ego will not be enhanced by any type of positive reception that I get out there for what I'm doing. I wanted this to be about the message and not about me. That's not to say that I don't have an ego. Yeah, I do have an ego, and I have to be very honest about that. So I am a little wary that ego will get stroked too much, because I don't want that to be the thing that's making me come here every day. And I don't want to be speaking to the egos of other people when I come here so that they like me. I want to be able to send a message that I've learned that's enhanced this life, this human's life that I call me. And I want to pass it on, right? I want to share what I'm learning. So it's not about fame. Okay, so why I'm not famous is basically probably because I'm not meant to be famous. I'm not meant to be famous, nor is it what I need. It would only stroke the ego. And I really want to get beyond that old ego. I'm hoping that makes sense, but thank you very much for the question. It was a really good, honest question. Thank you. Namaste.